welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons and critically fumble a lot. Hopefully not quite as much as some of these individuals did yesterday. That was a succession of horrific fucking rolls, guys. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie got out of Avernus, got Alice's memory and ability to speak back. All of that was very good. The news when they got back was not so great, in that, according to Governor Zet, nearly all of the Azamar in Anbir, and as they found out later, the 5 Azamar children sent to Hearthhome, are dead. We don't know exactly, which survived and how many. We don't know if the ones in Avernus are okay. But that's something that Cherie is dealing with while the rest of you are running a few errands. There's still some things that need to be done before going after Tansy the vampire at the far end of the Street of the Dark Gods. Mostly because you kind of want to do that in the daytime, because night falls fast in winter, and you probably don't want to be fighting a vampire when the sun goes down. Also, progress update from Cherie to let people know what, exactly how far this is all spread. And there's still the apology tour to get through, which, while not ideal, and powerful beings' wounded pride shouldn't matter quite so much, still kind of does, because you still kind of need those powerful beings' help. And you probably don't want to keep them pissed off with you. In any event, after letting the Mobius twins know what the hell is going on and doing a little bit of shopping, including some initial prep for upcoming vampire curb stomp, the Cupcake Coterie is heading for a little eatery at the top of a rather interesting circular tower in the middle of the Street of Plenty called the Garden Spot. Not entirely sure why it's called that, but it is. You guys are pretty good at timekeeping, some of you more than others, but you get there at around 6, and you... Now that you're actually looking at this tower, you kind of see Little Door, one of those little semicircular awnings, just very small letters written the Garden Spot. You open the door, and really all there is good size elevator and a couple of potted plants. So, into the lift, I take it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, you actually have a lift attendant. This one is a halfling standing on a box. In relatively nice, kind of, not quite the full formal tux, but nice suitish kind of a situation. You'd be here with Shuri.
Yes.
Okay then. Shunk. Door shut, and the lift brings you up into a largely glass gazebo, and you can see why this place is called the Garden Spot, or at least one reason. When Governor Zet said something about, good place for a quiet and semi-private conversation, it's because the entire place is laid out somewhat like a hedge maze.
Hmm.
And
Fancy.
what you have is there's sort of what would have been a bird bath at one point, but has been repurposed as apparently a pixie break area. A little dollhouse table and little benches, and one of them comes up, flits over, and uh, does anyone speak Sylvan?
I do.
Uh, Rylan does too. You remember that, yes?
Yeah,
Good,
I
good.
know.
You just weren't reacting,
Okay.
so I thought I'd just in case you'd frozen. I worry if you don't look like you're moving.
Okay, it's okay. Just Rylan being quiet is normal.
Mhm. Duh. And you are the adventurers here with the governor's secretary.
Yes.
If you'd like to follow me, because it can be a little bit hard to find your way around otherwise. And all the rest of you got was sort of peep 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 peep, and
Let's go.
oh, we're following, okay? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that was some of us don't speak Sylvan, so you kind of got to help us with that.
Just showing us to the table.
Don't mind me. I still have the vaguest recollections of not understanding anything that was said to me, so translations are good right about now.
That's fair.
And yeah, you kind of got to go single file a little bit because it's literal hedge maze, so it's kind of narrow bits and pieces. Barnabas can fit, but not with anybody standing next to him. And after a few twists and turns, you come out in a largish circular table. Um, really pretty chairs with sort of pretty wrought iron backs that look like leaves, except for one, which is more of a stool, which was clearly brought in for Alice. There are also there's Cherie sitting at one bit of the table, and gambling around the rest of the space are about a half a dozen good-sized puppies.
Tree. Aw. Tree.
uh, I thought if you'd all sit down, I thought something nice, something heartwarming would be a good idea right about now. And also it occurred to me that we were talking about the shared pet. And you said
Mhm.
medium-sized dog, but remember that dog is going to have to be a playmate to Woofles. So we're
Oh.
going to have to compromise on large dog. So I got some puppies from the larger breeds, and over the course of the meal, we can decide which one suits us best. And
I don't know if
and for everyone else, emotional support puppies.
and
Clarity's
Barnabas
already
swamps
letting
her.
them.
Remember, you are very strong, and I need to breathe.
I'm sorry.
Clarity's already started playing
Yeah,
with
it was
one of
very
them.
much like
Yeah,
petting her.
you basically got uh what she refers to as a Demille Mastiff, which is effectively Tibetan Mastiff. Um,
Hmm.
you have a Leonberger, which there really is no other way of putting that. There is an Aambach Mountain Dog, which is entirely different from a Husky. Um, you have a Belarusian Boarhound, which is effectively a Newfoundland. And just Saint Bernard, which is apparently named for one of Torm's first disciples. And one that doesn't entirely exist in our world, but the closest approximation would be uh, take a take a Briard and make it bigger. It looks like a very large mop, although in this case it's puppies, so
Mm-hmm. Small mop with gigantic paws.
when you can see the paws, yes. But Alice is particularly interested in the Newfoundland equivalent. This is exactly the kind of dog she apparently wants one day. Hello, Furface. This dog just poof into her lap. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, Barnabas is getting most of the attention from the Leonberger. They are adorable as puppies. They're just kind of poof.
Hey there. Hi. How you doing?
The tail is just going. It's very much a pick me up, pet me, play with me, hello.
He sort of looks left, right, just picks him up, starts patting him.
No.
You're getting face licks. All of the face licks.
If anyone pointed out that Barnabas's tail was also wagging, he'll deny it.
Don't worry, most of them are a little bit too busy playing with their own little attention sucks to worry too much about it. Remy, who apparently attracts the fluff balls, has the mop.
You'll sit down and give him scratches.
You think its tail is wagging, but you're not really sure where the face is.
Larity's just buried her face in the fur one, just nuzzling it.
No.
Yes, you probably have the Demille Mastiff. So as well as the fur, you're getting the slobber.
Yeah.
And Cherie is very much, well, it's a good thing that I know prestidigitation, and so do you. Yes, Ava's got the mountain dog. They're the goofiest looking little floofers. Of course, all of these are the goofiest looking little floofers, but I have a feeling I have a feeling that it's going to take some truly excellent food to make Barnabas let go of the Leonberger.
Now that I've just seen a picture of what the puppies look like, yes.
Cherie is very much, yeah, he's my favorite too.
Would you like to
I've
hold him?
I've had my time with him, but
Okay.
given that I think we've made a decision, I'd like you to start thinking about names.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Because I'm just going to end up with something that goes with woofles, and that's not really the point of this exercise.
Mm-hmm. Who's a good boy? You a good boy. Yes, you are.
Lick, 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 lick. You're very much not getting away from the licking.
He's not trying to.
No, but it's going to persist for quite some time.
No. I love puppies.
Yeah, just about everybody's got one at this point. Whether has dared the laps or been hauled up onto said laps, or just like in the case of Remy, sitting across her feet in one direction or another. Because seriously, You'd have to kind of have to go hunting to see where the nose is. Rylan, I think you'll probably enjoy this. There are some meat dishes, but they are in the minority. The garden spot is by and large vegetarian.
Good to know.
Mostly what they have is fish and more the kind of thing you'd hunt in wilderness areas. So it's predominantly fish, venison, rabbit. So vegetarian and the kinds of meats that you might have partaken in the times you were in the mood.
Good to know.
And you wind up with Pixie mage handing in like menus. Apparently, the only way they can actually figure out where everybody's sitting is to have pixies do the aerial scouting. Just sort of bows a little to Cherie and those who understand Sylvan. Everything is to your liking? Yes, it's fine. We'll take a few minutes. I think a probably do with 2 carafes of the, and this is still in Sylvan, so only half of you actually understand this. 2 carafes of the pomegranate sangria. Very good.
Clarity is translating for especially Alice A, but everybody else.
So Cherie, is it predominantly for your benefit, Hazel? I understand that you're fond of pomegranate. And I had a feeling you wouldn't want to drink too much in the vein of alcohol, but I didn't think a glass or 2 of sangria would do anything but take the edge off. And
Great thing, love.
since I'm going to wait until we've ordered and have food in front of us to deliver official reports, so we're not getting interrupted by waiters, etc., how did the rest of your day go? I see that you have had the return of your common sense. I who well, I suppose being hit with that immediately after recovery was probably not ideal. No, but not really all that much I can do about it right now. I can think of about 2 or 3 things, but let's get to that after the various bits of reporting. But you spoke to the Mobius twins?
Yeah.
We did.
Given the expressions, I'm taking it that didn't go particularly well.
It's been a day.
A couple of pixies turn up, one with a couple of crafts of a surprisingly magenta liquid, and one with a basket of poppy seed rolls, little crock of butter. Incidentally,
That-
the just very briefly, the menu is largely vegetarian items, various stuffed squashes, interesting vegetable casserole-ish kinds of situations, a wide variety of salads. You guys will probably have to ask what quiche is.
Oh God.
And yeah, there's a couple of baked fish, roast rabbit, venison kebabs. How they make venison as a kebab, you're not entirely sure, because that's generally a gamey meat, but apparently they figured out a way. And yeah, things you didn't really think you could do with salad. It's gonna be Hazel asking what a quiche is. I can tell.
Oh yeah, 100% asking what a quiche is for one, and then you get at whatever the answer is, veering off into how do you salad this?
Uh, it's
Still
Cherie.
doing the my hovercraft is full of eels thing.
Cherie explains. A quiche is you take a savory pie crust and effectively it's. I think you could best describe it as an omelet pie. You put
Cleric is error.
you put various fillings in. You can see the Florentine is spinach kind of a situation. There's ham and cheese, etc., etc. They're quite good, actually.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Florentine. That sounds wonderful.
Alice is very much. I'm thinking the baked salmon, actually. Thank you. And the pixie actually hovers up to Hazel in the when the how do you salad this. You would be amazed at what vegetables you can eat raw.
Full on head tilt, and I'm just looking at the more bizarre salad options at this point.
You can have most of these as a side salad if you are particularly appetitey. Also, you're actually, instead of the hot vegetable for any of the main dishes, you can have a side salad along with either steamed potatoes, rice. I think you can probably withstand a little bit of the unusual. There is also the cauliflower rice.
Hmm.
I'm assuming somebody's
cogitating.
translating that because this is the pixie. Yeah, Cherie's gonna let Clarity have that one. Cauliflower rice. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Some people seem to think it is healthier than regular rice. We do have a variety of kinds of rice. We have your regular long grain rice, we have a variety of flavored rices, and we have long grain and wild rice. Rylan will probably perk up at this because wild rice is very much more of the kind of thing that you'd get in the Elven Wild because it's not like you have rice patties the way these guys know them. So it's like, wild rice? Really?
Okay. And here I thought that was limited to just home.
Oh, no. I mean, some of us more forest-dwelling persuasion encourage them to set aside some places in the in our wooded areas for the lumbering. We set some of that land aside for wild rice.
Sounds safe to know.
So I'm assuming you're going to be having some of that with your dinner.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm mostly interested in what Hazel's going to do about dinner because I'm always interested in her surprise me moments.
Yeah, the error cleric is currently.
Alice watches Hazel for a minute, then turns around to first the pixie and then to Clarity. I'm assuming she understands common, but I will ask. Do they have an option of, I guess, a surprise me quiche?
Do you have a surprise me quiche?
Would she like a surprise me quiche?
Probably.
Well,
Hazel?
Hazel understands Sylvan, so yeah. So hovers back.
Yeah, let's go with that.
We'll surprise you with the sides, too.
That would be great. Yep.
Hovers at Remy. You look more like the meat eater persuasion.
That's right.
I think probably the venison kebabs for you.
I was just thinking that.
I win. Hovers over to Ava. You might want to try something new, but you also have the look of I haven't had venison in too long.
Yeah. Basically it.
You look like you need the comfort of home, so venison it shall be. I will surprise everybody.
Read my mind first.
Apparently, we have Pixie with insane insight score. Okay,
Oh,
as well as the wild rice. Looking at Rylan, we have a forage stew, which is foraged woodland vegetables and mushrooms.
Oh, that sounds absolutely lovely.
Good. And I can't figure it out with you, probably because you want surprises as much as this one.
Well, and you would have noticed that she perked up with the mention of rice. And do you have anything in a jasmine rice? I used to have it a lot with my foster family. I miss it.
It seems a sad thing to me that you have to ask this, but first of all, yes, we do. And second of all, I understand that you are the adventurers with a home base across the mountain range. Stories spread about you. Do you have a pencil and some paper?
I'm ready.
It's amusing watching a pixie grab hold of a pencil and. I mean, you've seen the cartoons when you get little. If you go to there, you can actually get jasmine rice in little packets or big packets. So you can boil it for yourself or somebody can make it for you. They have lots of different kinds of rice. In fact, they have the wild rice that this one was interested in, too.
Hey,
I am not.
We can have rice.
I am not really supposed to give our suppliers away, but I don't think it'll stop you from coming back here anyway. And you need comfort enough for you need comforting enough to have puppies. So I'm going to be helpful today.
Thank you so much.
I will be back shortly with the squadron to bring you your meals. So yes, well, while we're waiting for that, the Mobius twins. Seriously, how did that go? Incidentally, Michigan, who you apparently did not leave at the Bone Orchard, is currently looking like is about to climb into the basket of poppy seed rolls. Delicious!
I'm taking a roll and just handing it to him.
You're peck.
I'm kind of blanking on what we said with the twin.
Well, it was mostly just having to dump that on them for a start, and basically what you discussed was upcoming plans. Basically, what you plan on doing after you have the information you're going to get here. But let's face it, it was not a pleasant conversation.
No.
Especially not given that Remy is probably still glowering somewhat about the fact that significant retribution needs to be dealt at this point, and B still has to entertain the sensibilities of a somewhat petty brass dragon.
It was not it was not pleasant. It was mostly discussing, making plans for what we're going to do, and you know, also having to juggle appeasing Craig Bendis, etc. at all as well. On top of all this stuff,
I did have one thought, which
Mm.
might be of some help to you. Um, I don't know how involved I'm going to be in your vampire-related doings, but or your Jessamy-related doings, but one or the other is probably going to have more protection than just what they can bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm saying that it would be too much for you to handle, but if that was the case, can any of you do ascending? The LSA is just... Well, if you ran across something particularly large and detrimental, you're a bard, you're persuasive, you would be able to sell... We could get you an interesting trophy, but would you prefer an interesting battle instead?
Oh,
I mean, only if something unmitigatedly large comes up, but let's face it, the people who can go this far are probably not stupid.
I like it.
Good to keep in mind.
And if not, I'm sure there'll be bits of Veronese anyway.
Yeah.
So you won't have to go too far to appease Crabendis.
I hope so.
Actually, I'll have Al say the thing we also discussed very briefly. Well, we didn't discuss it briefly, but just to have it on the table for the larger conversation, one thing we did kind of figure out was that it's entirely possible that some of the shenanigans they're doing with casting via our blood might be able to go for our bloodlines, not just us specifically. And that they're probably a little bit pissed they didn't get Ava's. Given her half-sister is effectively being groomed as some kind of prime material plane-based avatar of Tiamat. I don't think they'd mind particularly getting Hazel's aunt either. She is...
What, because she ran?
Well, she was involved. Shuri is thinking about this and looks at Remy. So I take it the next step on the apology tour is going to be heal Fortinbras to warn your parents.
And it's not the only thing we have to talk to the governor about. So, yes, we're going to Belarus next.
And have you checked in on those ones you sent to your farm in Goldendale? Alice is just... Yeah. So you'll be spending the night there. To check on
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at me like I've grown a second. Barnabas, can I have a word with you and Fluffbutt over here? Grab.
Ah,
It's amazing how few steps you have to take out of the immediate seating area and be out of earshot. Just to keep in mind, I'm not only talking about this from the point of view of those kids will need them. They need to see the kids are all right. And frankly, I don't think Alice is doing very well, and that's the last bit of home she's got. I don't think one night someplace, if you can teleport back easily, is too
Now,
much to ask.
now, uh,
I just didn't want to throw that onto the table. It sounds better coming from one of you, but none of you were going
no,
to say it,
it
so
it's not that. It's not that at all. Out of character. I'm not an idiot. The kids were caught in that whatever did this, right?
yeah, that's Alice was the one who sent the sending to Twilly and Miranda and came back with the news, and Skylar was so upset she decided she was going oath of vengeance.
That's what I. No,
Yeah.
we did it. We checked in already. They didn't make it.
Yes,
They got
that she,
caught.
I saw from the look on her face, and I thought again, this bunch, particularly Hazel, who's a little,
Hmm.
she's gonna need to see that the rest of the kids are all right. She
Yeah.
also needs to be needed. And Alice probably needs a night at a home being
Hmm.
cared for by people who look up to her in a somewhat different way.
Oh, it's a good idea.
But again, I'm not going to bring it up to the rest of them because I'm sort of group adjacent.
Well, I appreciate that, dear. I really do.
Stands on tiptoe, ruffles the fur on your head, and then ruffles the Leonberger, who I'm assuming you're still.
Oh yeah.
We're still going to have to come up with a name, or he's going to end up Fuzzbutt.
Yeah. I have a feeling he's going to be Fuzzbutt no matter what we name him. But yeah.
I'm still leaving that with you, but right, back we go. And yeah, it's only you guys have only been sat down like 30 seconds before the squadron turns up with your plates. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Yeah, Hazel has a quiche that is bacon, cheese, and broccoli.
Clara continues to be error, but is definitely going to just directly try regardless.
I mean, it's a very good quiche. It's also you basically have kind of a tuna niçoise salad. So you have like eggs and tuna, and it works somehow.
Don't ask how. Don't think about it.
But yeah, you get the various things that you ordered, and silence, I'm assuming, descends. Alice is okay. Before we get any further into our bullshit, Cherie. Well, no, if any of the Azamar in here in Anbir survived, they're the only ones left. Honestly, by the time I got back there, it was only Sharps left. The half orc was gone too, and the kids. Although the kids, I don't think they all died of the blood magic. Sharps is currently in the palace infirmary. Somebody apparently reported where they were. I don't know if it was the demons, the devils, or what, but it was kind of a mess.
Yeah. Damn it.
As for Scourge, it's only Scourge Azamar left in the city, and there are two. Cobb and Lucinda, they hadn't even started cadet training yet, which is probably why. They're not in a very good state right now. I mean, LSA is, yeah, losing pretty much your entire species or subspecies or whatever. It does a number on your head. I don't know how much help I'm going to be to them in that, because I'm just the entire different subspecies, and half the time I feel partly responsible for this mess. I mean, it was shitty anyway. I know this. And I know it probably would have got shittier even without us intervening. But, you intervene and then it all goes this far to shit? Kinda gotta wonder. But since we couldn't really have done anything else, there we have it.
It was already bad long before we got here.
Yeah, but it wasn't like 3 members of the species left on the prime material plane, on possibly any plane. Kind of bad. But if it helps, the other thing we discussed is one of our apologies is already dealt with. Darwin and Farida went to Demille, stopped to apologize to Vievaled, and are trying to open up enough bits of the Silver Vault to help us more on the research end, at least for now. So we've really only got Hiel Fortinbras and Calatiel left. And if we're doing Hiel Fortinbras today, then that'll just leave one.
Mm.
It sure is. Alright, I saw that look on your face. I thought I'd give various others a chance to finish before I asked about this. You said that's not the only thing we have to warn Hiel Fortinbras about. Would you care to elaborate?
The question is what Tiamat's forces would do once they've killed everyone they want to kill in the Southlands, and most likely they would come here, and the first place they would land is Belarus.
I'll say is what she's not saying is that what little I remember is that they're trying to wrap things up in the southern lands to do that.
And also, Alistair, didn't you say that the amount of demons and soldiers that we saw was only a small
Yeah,
portion?
that's... this is just a theory, but I'm guessing that the stuff they're not throwing at Asmodeus and his forces is going to the southern lands to comprehensively end that conflict so they can hit Elossa. Like I say, I did not understand much. Most of it still translates in my head to wow, 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 wow. But I got that much. It's what we have for the moment. If I remember any more about it, or I'm allowed to translate more of it in my head, y'all will be the first to know. But between that and something is going on in Cragfear, but then again, we already knew that. We were sending Rissy to check that out. Looks at Barnabas. You never met Rizwin, one of Hazel's adopted siblings. Most adorable little dwarf. She was great.
Nice.
Also, where just to double check this, where were we on the sending to Arkan?
We hadn't decided exactly when I was going to do that. I was not
Yeah, mostly just wanting to refresh on that
It's
because it's
still
one of the things.
it's still one of the things, but we haven't decided when that's going to be.
Got it.
And that's going to be more of a group decision. And Sheree looks over at I'll say, so it doesn't matter that I didn't get a look at Arkin because you can do ascending. Speaking of, I should probably send to your parents, well, the in-laws. I should. Corey will smack me if I don't remember about that. Just to let her know that, because if we pass through uh, and we don't give her enough notice for her to serve us tea and baked goods, she will not be pleased.
Hmm.
That is a level of. I'm just immediately thinking of the average halfling hospitality pattern there. And
Sure,
just
and sure he is. Well, if you're going to drop in on your family, she should probably warn them too.
We will.
Well, when she comes back, we're gonna have to send her out to do another sending. Oh dear.
He wants out.
Hi, Harvey. Bye,
Yes,
Harvey.
yeah, it's Harvey. Yep.
Yes, I saw the calico, so I was like, hi, Harvey. Bye, Harvey. Yes, first it's let me out, and in like 2 minutes it's gonna be let me in, let me in.
Mm.
It's the cat way.
Contrary little buggers. So Alice comes back and is still being this basically this noof. Um, bye, Pim Pim. Has been following along her at her heels the entire time. Just okay. I'm getting expectant looks. Do I have to make another sending?
I believe we discussed that maybe. Wait, who's talking? Was it Alice
Alice,
or?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Um,
Alice is more of a these days in particular. It's more of a casual, occasionally wary. Okay, y'all are looking at me now. What? Cherie tends to be a bit more. This is what we're doing.
and who did she just send? So many cats.
To Alice just finished sending to Remy's parents to warn. Turns around to Barnabas and says, "Before we get into that, Corey has mentioned she's breaking out the toothsome cookbook that they gave her they gave her. Well, we all gave her after the wedding. Which should remind you, you have cookbooks, but." But but yeah, what that means for Lindira, Clarity can tell Alice, if we're going to be dropping in on Hearthhome, we should probably warn Twilly about it.
If you could do a sending to Twilly and Miranda, or one of them, to let them know we're coming.
Oh, okay, we're actually doing that. Okay, cool.
I think it'd be a real good idea.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Hi. Dog is still following her around. Seriously, brown, fluffy, big, huge paws. And now is probably before Barnabas forgets again. Oh, hello, Fleef Nugget.
Oh, out of character. The cookbook's for Charisse, right?
The cookbook, yes, remember the two cookbooks from the Hoffling siblings in Kitchen Witchery and the self-prestidigitating measuring cups and spoons.
Oh yeah, before I forget, Cherie, these are for you.
Ooh, goodness. Thank you. It's, probably should have done this while waiting for orders to be taken, but nice to separate out some of the puts the books down. It's going to have to be hugging you and the fluffer. Which, you know what? I think I'm going to ask for suggestions. What do we name him?
I don't know why my first thought is Alexi, from name from home.
I like it. Nobody else seems to have any other suggestions, so Alexi, does that suit you? Lick, 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 lick on Barnabas.
I think we got him a name.
Yes, we do. I'm going to have to get one of those collars with the locator spell name tags.
Oh, out of character. Didn't Barnabas also have one of those mystery boxes for her too?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Barnabas was way too suspicious of the mystery boxes.
Right.
What he got was the woman at that wine bar giving 2 very good bottles of wine, but that's probably going to want to be saved for a more private occasion.
Exactly.
But no, but the thing is, now you've seen what was in the mystery box.
He'll be going back for one.
Yeah, Hazel's currently wearing the poncho, and Michigan is attempting to enjoy Hazel's salad.
I am. Provided I notice this nonsense, I'm going to.
Because if you're trying to
just start sharing properly.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You attempt to put fork into salad, and you get you tap on top of Griffin head. Yunk.
Like, okay, you're just going to be over here now, and I'm going to alternate between stuffing it into your face and stuffing it into my face.
And yeah, of course, the rest of you have all got puppies begging for various treats. Those of you who do not have meat containing are going to have an interesting time of that, but
Barnabas is. If you've ever seen someone trying to eat while still holding a large puppy, he's doing it. It's not a good idea and it's not quick, but he's doing it.
So, the plan is a very brief stop to bring the rest of the pups back to their adoption place. Introduce Alexi to Woofles and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Then off to the governor. Then the Crestwinds. Then Hawthorne.
That sounds about right.
And come morning, honestly, what you want me to do as regards the situation with Tansy is entirely up to you. But we can think about that later on. Yes, dessert is comprehensively skipped because you're going to have 2 sets of parental figures feeding you desserts fairly soon now.
And the word toothsome was mentioned.
Yes, because Corey makes very sure to know what her Remy's friends like. Incidentally, for Hazel, the pomegranate sangria was a revelation.
Yeah, for everyone who happened to be glancing Hazel's way when she actually tried it. Yeah, there was that ever-present, I can see through time expression. There's just middle distance head. Oh no, we've lost the cleric.
Cherie had noticed but didn't know what to do about it until she got the cookbooks. Flips through the drink one and goes, "You know, I have a recipe for that sangria now."
Immediate reboot. and you can there's a movement of Hazel's head so fast there's probably a whiplashing noise.
Which provides cover
Oh.
for Barnabas to do a little fist bump yes with a hand holding Alexis.
Well, that got your attention.
Yeah, there was a you have a what?
One of the recipe books he got me is drinks.
And just tilting in that direction slowly.
There's a whole section at the back about interesting things to do with coffee.
And we've gone from just tilting to eyes the size of dinner plates.
Out of character, Barnabas is very intelligent. He will remember that Hazel is very fond of halflings in general, just because of who she was raised by. And if you're going to impose on Twilly and Miranda's hospitality, maybe you could take an additional 5 minutes if it's on your way to wherever the dogs have to go to show Hazel kitchen witchery.
Where do the dogs have to go back to?
There's a sort of an alleyway off the it's not one part of the Street of Nature's Bounty, more the animal end, but
Running mapping.
yeah, it's not too far from the sort of just a little bit off the Street of Plenty in the general direction of the Street of Knowledge. It's not entirely on the way, but it's not very far past where you'd have to go.
Hazel, we need to show you kitchen witchery after we get the pups back. You'll want to get something for Twilly and Miranda there, I think. And that face makes me nervous.
Shuri reads the Samuel and Lila Enderby. Those are the young Enderbys that are currently working in Kitchen Witchery, which is owned by actually their grandfather, but the father manages.
You'll love them.
Yeah, so Hazel is like cookbooks, cookery equipment run by halflings.
There, you can see her fighting the impulse right now to just jump bolt.
And Alice is Hazel. We're just about done, and Shuri is. The governor arranged for this meal, so we don't have to worry about the bill. But Alice does just put a gold on the table. I still always tip.
Nope, resisting the urge.
You're going to have to help us herd puppies.
We will need you for
Oh
that.
boy. I'm like latched onto I'm like physically like latched onto my own chair to prevent myself from jumping.
Which is probably why you have the currently you have the Burmese mountain dog puppy basically woomph on your lap.
Did Michigan get out of the way before that happened?
Well, currently, actually, you're having a bit of an issue because they're having a bit of a fight, and I'm going to have to ask for a strength save.
The life of Hazel Halfheart in a nutshell.
Hearthheart.
Halfheart.
Strength save?
Yes. The chair has fallen over, and Hazel has become Thunderdome.
Oh,
Alice is sighs, scoops up scoops up her pup in one arm, scoops up the Burmese mountain dog pup in the other. And Michigan is doing the cat pat on Hazel's chest in a sort of a where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Okay, that's enough.
A pause kind of for a minute.
Slowly sit up despite me just whole chair fell over. You
Snack?
Sure.
And all I'll say is just, it's good to be strong.
Yeah,
Shall we?
I'm working my way into getting up properly while keeping Michigan in place.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to help.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that eventually, you get the you get the pups back to the place. They all give you the eyes, but the brown floofer, that was kind of sticking to Alice's ankles is doing the. Oh, for fuck's sake!
No.
You know what? Noop requires competition.
How much is going to wind up at Hearthhome at this point?
Oh, let's face it, Michigan is not letting you out of his sight. You know this.
That I'm gotten used to. I'm talking about like everything else going to wind up over there.
Well, no, Alexi is going to be introduced to Woofles.
Mm-hmm.
That I also knew.
So
I'm talking
it's-
about besides that, just how much else is going. It has been migrating.
Well, there were those interesting sheep, the goats, I think a couple of cows, and various seeds and seedlings, and the pomegranate tree. Hey, Ree, have you got any ideas for names for this floover?
What kind of dog is it?
This is effectively a brown Newfoundland.
Let me just Google that. It's very fluffy. I don't know.
Well-
Looks like you'll turn into a walking carpet given enough time.
Yes, and I actually very much wanted a carpet dog. Large carpet dog that likes water. And sure he is, you have made an excellent choice, in which case.
Why not call the dog carpet?
No,
I mean,
No.
they look more like a mop than a carpet.
No, that's that one. Which
Oh,
you find now that you see this one walking, you finally figure out which side is the nose, unless it's walking backwards, which
We don't know. Could be.
da-da-da-dum. Mhm. Who's a good boy? Here you are. It's hard to remember to do the talking to the dog baby voice in Barnabas's voice, but I'm trying.
thinks about it for a minute. Know what?
Hmm?
I think Lend. After the
I like that.
I mean, he would have made this place so much better. And
Yeah.
I don't have much to commemorate, but maybe Big Happy Floofer will be that.
Mhm.
What do you think, Lend? Lick, 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 lick. Here, it sort of holds in Remy's general direction, and this is strain. Lick, 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 lick. Oh, that
Yeah,
means
sure,
that
that-
given that Hearthhome is at the end of our trip, we're gonna get to introduce Lend to Puffy.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that.
Lend is bigger than Puffy is now. I'm trying to think, because Ryland's never met the Crestwinds.
Nope,
Ooh.
Oh,
hasn't happened yet.
At which point, Alice looks over at Ryland, saying, I'm not even gonna describe Puffy. I want Ryland to experience Remy's first pet for themselves. But first, Kitchen Witchery for thank you for having us. Presents might even see what's available for your parents, Ray. The in-laws. She will not forgive me if I keep forgetting to call them the in-laws. But we're at about the break time, so we'll do, at the very least, Kitchen Witchery and Bella Race when we come back. And I don't mind that this is getting kind of slow, because it might be nice to have Ethan for some of the approaching endgame stuff, so... And at least it's fun, more or less.
Yeah.
Anyway, break, and then stuff for cheering up. And we're back doing a quick detour in various bits of Ambier before heading off to do official apology tour business. Before we introduce Alexi to Woofles, which is going to be an interesting sight in and of itself, there is a trip to Kitchen Witchery. Which, again, think high-end bookstore devoted to cookbooks, with upper levels being high-end kitchen equipment. They have one of those little signs by the stairs, which is, floor 2, tableware, floor 3, etc., etc., etc. And Hazel has probably, she comes from Goldendale, and she didn't look very much at the cookbook sections of bookstores. You've never seen so many cookbooks in your entire life.
I'm not normally one for books. And then you can, and you're just watching the head tilt. I've gone completely dead silent. And I'm just staring, just standing in the entrance, just staring, your head slowly swiveling to almost completely horizontal.
At the sort of cash register, basically, of a halfling girl, about 16. Hello? Can I help you? You look expectant and slightly lost.
Mouth opens,
she waves.
hypersonic comes out for all of 2 seconds, then just shuts again.
Sam makes that noise. sees Barnabas and Clarity. Hi. Do you guys need Sam again?
Probably
Picks
pushing
up. It picks
Hazel
up.
inside.
Well, no, she was inside. She was just standing kind of near the cash register, not moving.
Further.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the doorway and just So when pushed, I don't so much step forward so much as I vibrate, and the sheer amount of just rattle I shift forward on that alone.
She picks up the dedicated sending stone. Sam, your half-elven spiritual sister is here. Wait, what? You can actually hear from the sending stone. Will you just come down here? And again, sliding down the banister is another halfling, obviously Lila's sibling. Looks to be maybe early 20s. He boomfing in front of Hazel. Hi, how can I help?
He's just seeing half-elf cleric error in progress.
Sam thinks about this for a second. Neumes off to section. Neumes back, and clearly he's going to use this excuse to big up his sister's book again, because to attempt to break the Hazel error, all of a sudden there's book, The Sunshine Guide to Desserts. Basically at her eye level.
Again, hypersonic.
Yay!
Scoop up the halfling and the book.
I think she likes it, Lila. Oh, Sam.
Oh, Lord.
I picked up the thing and I'm just looking at Tell me more. Tell me everything.
Well, this is Lila's cookbook. She does some really interesting things with dessert, and at the back there's actually a section with what goes best with what, so you can experiment by changing the flavors of stuff at the beginning of the book.
Yes.
And Lila's Sam wrote a drinks one. They got the drinks one. I'm sure he is. That's the one with the recipe for the pomegranate sangria.
Whiplash noise as the head swivels again.
I will go get it for you. Meantime, why don't you think about other kinds of foods you like, and I can see what else I might be able to suggest for you. Nirum's back. The Less Magical Potion Maker by Samuel Enderby.
Just yoink. That's going into the selection bin.
So, what kinds of foods are you interested in making?
Cogitating, just trying to remember the entire list of things that's been made at home. Along with a few bits of the surprise me that we've tripped over so far.
At which point Alice is like, you probably don't need recipes for stuff from home because Twilly and Miranda are going to want to teach you to cook those. What about the spicy things you like so much? We have, like, 4 different cookbooks devoted to the spicy foods of various nations.
I need all of them.
Be right back. Nyum. Nyum.
There's the stack is forming at this point. Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, there's actually one that seems to be variations on the people of the people tribes in Aembach, how to do the kinds of things they do at home, because obviously you have to deal with it different when you have an actual oven. There's one for Almaver, which is divided into city food, dune folk food, and Agway settlement food.
There's just a whole blanket variety.
Yeah, there's one that's all about the. It seems to be written by the people who run hot pots over in Egref. So it's the spicy treats of Egref.
The minute the egg ref thing gets mentioned, that's going to add like another 4 different things to the list. Basically, just stuff from eggref.book.
To be honest, you probably want to buy the Egref specific stuff in Egref, but that 4th one's the most interesting. That one, Grandpa did some serious favors for the Mobius twins, and mostly Alana was talking about the kinds of foods that you get on this one island in the Shattered Lands, which is a bit like with if you had Aeonbuck and more things grew, everything is spicy.
Interplay and eyes are back. That grin is back.
Of course, there has to be some substitutions because some of that we can't even grow here. Not even here. The Shattered Lands has some very specific soil acidities and magic contents and things like that. But we come close, apparently.
Yeah, I'm still grinning. I'm still grinning, and the grin's reaching almost fully from ear to ear. I'm not sure normal mouths open like that, but
Alice is, Barnabas and Cherie were saying something about self-prestidigitating measuring cups and spoons.
Mm-hmm.
Those still aren't really out in general stock yet. I mean, And Sam is like, well, they've already got them. Fine. I'll go get them. Back in a minute. We shouldn't have adventurers in here. Adventurers just encourage him.
How is that remotely a bad thing?
Dad's not going to be very happy when he finds out we've been selling Egreffian imports before he said it was okay.
Comprehension is non-existent. Why would it not be okay? Is the sort of expression on Hazel's face right now.
Sure he is, because their father probably wanted to test it himself first.
Oh,
Because maybe he doesn't trust the testing standards of Egref?
confusion's back again.
Sometimes there are unscrupulous inventors. There's a very old story about that. Alana, in particular, will have a bit of a rant about some Egreffians who were effectively exiled for not knowing when to leave well enough alone. Then they went off to the Shattered Lands and effectively nearly destroyed one of their island's ecosystems. I asked for confirmation for this for... Actually, that's someplace I should introduce you to. One of the elves from that settlement, that island, set up a shop here. It's expensive and it's not very much trafficked, but it's someplace you might need to know about, particularly as you get towards the larger battles that you're facing. It's called The Last Resort. It looks like an inn of sorts, but it's not really. The drinks there are not intoxicants. They are boosts to your natural ability suite.
Huh.
But it's,
No, I think-
as I say, it's very expensive. You can't do too much with them, mostly because the things that are used to make them don't grow well here. A very long story, and I'm sure that the proprietor will be at least somewhat happy to explain. Or Alana will, if you want to spend an hour on that. And Sam pads back down. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Do you need anything else? I think I'm gonna take one of. Actually, I'm gonna take two of her dessert guide books. Meep. Well, that's Hazel's copy. I'm getting one for Twilly and Miranda and one for the Crestwinds. I go get. Thank you.
Okay, now that I have enough of my brain back, in my head, is it possible, like a whirlwind tour of some of the other items, like beyond the books in here that you'd personally recommend?
Hazel knows this grin. Hazel often wears this grin.
Oh, no.
This is on Sam's face. And he
Oh, no.
grabs a hold of Hazel's hand and yoink towards the stairs.
Oh, Lord.
What everyone else hears is just a squee that echoes and just is lost in the takeoff.
Yeah, I mean, not much of it is magical. There's a couple of bits and pieces, like trivets that will keep things warm, but things on the table warm, but you actually know that Twilly has some of those, and now that you're older and they're not keeping Twilly's magical abilities on the down low, now you're starting to understand how they can have big pots on the table and not have the food get cold. But
Yep.
there is some gorgeous tableware up on another floor to basically everything you could want in a kitchen that's not an appliance. You will find here, and of exceptional quality. What Hazel will probably notice most is sort of casserole dish, baking dish, the kind of things that go in the oven. Because the one magical thing that those do have, that you know that the stuff at home doesn't have, is magicked handles, so you can take them out of the oven without oven mitts. Basically, they don't conduct any heat at all.
There's a lot of, because all of this is Sam's personal recommendation. Yeah, we're coming back with essentially another pile.
Yeah, I'm figuring the things that Sam would recommend are, obviously the casserole dish and the baking dish. There's some nice kitchenware sets that, the Nessie soup ladles.
Oh
right.
God, those things.
Yep, they have those things, but they're less Egref fun stuff, and more exquisitely made stuff. And spatulas that, while the usual shape, are sort of painted up to have, the slots you generally have in them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are more eyes and nose, and you have effectively a little cat face.
Everything here takes the whole like quality made and runs with it into the sun.
And there, when you get to the floor, when you're going back down to the ground floor, Sam also shows the tableware, which they have sets. Some for one for each of the primary deities, and sets for local legends. There's even a set about the Mobius twins.
Okay, yeah, that one of those is happening literally just to be proof to bring home that, oh my God, they're real.
So yeah, Hazel comes back down with her cleric strength being used to carry a stack of cookbooks, cooking stuff, etc. Sam is helping by carrying the serving spoons, and actually, because this Met clarity actually shows the Nessie soup ladle.
Oh, that's adorable.
We also have up at the very top floor. We didn't get that far. We have oven mitts that look like animals: cats, dogs, bears, crab claws.
I'm get the crab claws thing because just Dad.
Also aprons. Grab, yoink, all the way up to the top floor with your purchases at the.
Another squee echoing as it just disappeared.
Yeah, and they have sizes of everything from Goliath, half-orc, humanoid, halfling, which fits with gnome too, and they've got the. One of them is apparently an Egref saying, "Baking is science for hungry people."
Yeah, mom and mom are getting that one.
There's there is one that just reads. It's got this little panda bear, looking kind of stressed and holding a tin of muffins, reading "Bake it till you make it."
I'm keeping this one.
And yeah, just about any novelty set of oven mitts you've ever seen.
Yeah, because Dad has that whole because Dad's in charge of like because I remember the whole boats thing. Crab Club is just because this
There are sharks.
ocean gimmicks
There are sharks, you know.
one set of each.
Yeah, because Sam.
I'm going to fill that house with novelty goodies by way of Hazel.
Yeah, because you have is sort of you have the crab claws, you have the lobster claws, which are a different thing. You have shark, you have orca, you have baby seal.
I'm getting the orca ones just because I'm gonna have it figure out just when to reveal those later.
Well, I'm sorry. I personally think the orca ones have to go to Clarity like right away.
Okay, yeah, no, those are happening, and then that's happening immediately. I was just planning on like surprise later, but no surprise can be now.
And Sam literally, because it's a spiral staircase, and he literally just down the banister.
I can't well follow him in that fashion, mostly because I think I might be A, unstable, and B, likely to break something, but I am turbo speeding.
Bounce, 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 bounce. So Sam comes down first, and she's on her way,
Thud, thud, thud.
holding three aprons probably, because you said mom and mama.
Uh-huh.
Two halfling-sized aprons, one humanoid-sized apron, two sort of tucked aside sets of novelty oven mitts, and I'm assuming that Clarity just gets the orca-shaped oven mitts bunk.
Basically, it's just bunk to the side of the head then presented.
Ooh. She puts them on and starts biting Hazel's arms with them.
I'm just turning to the poor woman at the counter.
Well, woman, she's a
All of
16-year-old.
this.
She's a 16-year-old girl. She's already dealt with
poor 16.
with Alice's purchases, and she's apparently very good at tallying up. Total, that's 20 gold. You got a lot of stuff.
Oh, this isn't bafflement or shock. It's just delighted squee.
Wouldn't I know that did Cedar Grove have a very specific cuisine or not really?
That's the thing. You didn't really have Cedar. You didn't really have Cedar Grove cuisine. You had nobility cuisine.
Mm.
And also, you live in the back end of nowhere, and the fact that they've got, you don't even know if they have anything from Baronsvere, the country. That'd be the first thing to ask, because everything Hazel has doesn't come from anywhere near Baronsvere.
Do you know anything from Baronsville?
I mean, we have some seafood dishes, and some of that includes the nearest Musquoy settlement to the coastal one, Star Coast.
Yeah.
But I mean, they don't like us very much. So we don't really hear. They like some of the stuff that we send over. As I understand it, or at least that Egref manages to send over, and we get their whiskey sometimes. But mostly, they're not really big on sharing with us. So, and I'll say is like that's probably going to change if we can like actually save the world. I'm assuming that Hazel has like paid up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Alexei is, by the way, pretty well behaved as that goes.
Nice.
Just sort of happily snugged up against Barnabas and occasionally lick, 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 lick.
No.
Mm.
Lend, similarly, it's just kind of, I have found my people. I'm not letting go right yet. And if I'm very, very good, I will, I will be theirs and they will be mine. Yay! And it's sort of, thank you. Come again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Spotted floof nugget.
I know this was Nugget.
Yes. Trying to achieve similar heights from the looks of things. I want to bounce, but I can't bounce. And after that is introducing Alexei to Woofles. He pads up to this because, while not a small puppy, this is a displacer beast.
Mm-hmm.
Snoof, snoof, snoof. And Alexei just licks Woofles' nose. Lick, lick, lick. Snoof, lick, 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 lick. And Woofles just lick all the way down the back. Lick.
No.
Oh.
And then Alexei does the front paws down, back end up. This is not play stance for Woofles, so Woofles is going, what are you doing? And so yip, bounce, 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 bounce. Woofles paw. Gently, but squirms onto belly, front paws on top of the pond, and just lick any bit you can reach.
Oh.
I think they're going to get along just fine.
I think so. Yeah.
And then leans over to Woofles. Now, you're going to have to look after him while I do some business, alright? Still, lick, 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 lick. Just show him where the food is. It'll be fine. Don't worry, he's not going to take that much from you. Lick on Alexei's face. Alexei's now kind of slightly drenched, but doesn't care. Still lick, 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 lick.
No.
I'll let them get acquainted, and we will begin the apologies again.
Yeah.
I'll say is, Rylan, you up for this?
Sure. Yeah. Let's keep going.
I mean, are you gonna do the circle or just the straight up teleport? Actually, no, you have to do the circle, don't you? You haven't been to Belarus.
Yeah. I'd have to do the circle.
Ree, you wanna show them the book?
Yeah, of course.
Remy has a whole book that contains all the every teleportation circle she could find.
Okay.
That's yeah, she did manage to find a teleportation circle that's not the emergency teleportation circle in the basement of the Palor Shrine in Belarus, so you will not be turning up the way you did when escaping Arkan that one time. So yeah, Rylan sketches out the runes, casts teleportation circle. It's a different feel than when Darwin or even Remy do it. It's still a bit of vertigo, but it's a colder, darker vertigo, not the soul taint darkness, but you're basically traveling by shadows, not by weave exactly.
Mm.
So, ooh. Yeah, that wasn't cold as I understand it, but a little shivery. Interesting experience, though.
Would shadows be like that sometimes?
Yeah, I think I try not to think about the shadows too hard, because there was a lot of shadow fell.
Fair enough.
That's
Fair enough.
oh god, I keep forgetting Rylan wasn't there for that, and while Rylan is shadow touched, Rylan has never actually been in the shadow fell. Yeah, you end up Remy and Barnabas both actually wondered what this building was. It's what they thought was just a relatively large shed out by some of the barracks buildings.
Hmm.
But no, it seems to be the more commonly used teleportation circle, which means probably want to get out of it in case somebody wants to emergency teleport into there. And yeah, you're out into some of the barrack sections. Let's see if I have. I do. Hooray. Yeah, you're in and around Higher Sword Lock, so
Hmm.
you know the general area, and definitely not very far from Skycliff, which is the governor's building. And Shuri is like, I suppose I'm taking the lead here. Off we go.
More than likely.
Into Skycliff, and when the guards attempt to question you, delegation from Anne Beer. Rather urgent message for Governor Fortinbras. It just keeps walking. The guards are like, Alice just shrugs and follows. Like,
Yep.
I'm not. The look she gives him is, I'm not arguing with her. If you do, it's your funeral.
Yeah.
I can imagine, because Barnabas is now going, see, now they're seeing the aura of get the fuck out of my way. Probably on some level doing the Will Smith. And yeah, another two sets of guards get that treatment, and she actually opens the door to. It's not the courtroom, because you guys were wondering kind of where she was going, because you know where, Hal Fortinbras holds court, and that's not the direction she's going. But then again, by this point, it's about 7 in the evening, probably a little later. So what she's opened up on is the dining room. The dining room in Skycliff is not as private as Governor Zet's. There are multiple mid-sized tables. Remy and Barnabas are familiar with this. They've eaten there a couple of times. They will sometimes bring the commanders and a couple of ranking officers of the various mercenary companies in to dine at the tables here. Just so that they can all get together, kind of, and he can see what's going on with the various relationships and what they're doing. So she peers in, and then she just shoves open both doors. Everybody is sort of staring. And Alice just pads for the head table, where thankfully Hale Fortinbras is dining alone at it. So he's probably had some warning. At which point it's kind of Hale Fortinbras looks up at her and, I was hoping you'd come a little bit earlier. I thought about it, but honestly, part of this is going to have to be telling the others how you and yours are handling recent revelations. I'm assuming that the slightly larger group than usual here is to let them see that you're still Hjal Fortinbras, even given what they've heard. You are too smart for your own good. Why do you not work here? I like Ambia. You were not going to give me license to have a pet Displacer Beast. He never gets to call Cal reckless ever again. No, he can definitely call Governor Atiel reckless. Fair. Please take a seat. All right. Who would like to give the official apology, and who would like to give the official warning? Actually, I imagine that Paladin Crestwind will be giving the warning. Who wishes to give the apology?
I can do it.
I have to hear this.
There's nothing else we can say other than, well, sorry. We fucked up.
Alice looks at Barnabas for a minute. To add to that, we did have the best intentions in the world. While we are very sorry that your nature was revealed during that, number one, it did turn over a rock and show an awful lot of crawling nasty beneath that it's actually a good thing that you know. And B, if you spin it right, it actually does you favors. Really. Well, now they know that this secret that you've defended for generations isn't as important as your actual people. We are sorry that we put Governor Zet in that position, and that led to all the rest of you being outed as well. That was unfair. However, I also feel like we should express gratitude to yourself and your fellow governors for putting the people before your own comfort. Looks at Barnabas. I appreciate you trying. I think next time leave the actual spokesperson to spokesperson. You handled that reasonably well, and I have a feeling that this warning of which you speak is going to be suitable restitution for the problem. So, Paladin Crestwind, what has you looking quite so extra paladin-y today?
We saw Tiamat's forces in Avernus fighting Zerial and Asmodeus' devils, and that wasn't even the entirety of their forces holding back the devils.
Excuse me, sorry, I understand this may not be 100% relevant, but I think I require some context here. What were you doing in Avernus?
Rescuing Alisei, and then attempting to rescue the other Asimar and other victims of Jessamy, who were stranded, who had been banished there by her.
But he really needs to either get over his need for solitude or give his assistants a bit more power in the way of day-to-day dealings. That should not have gone on as long as it did. Oh, believe me, we'll be having that conversation. I just have to get these lot through the apology tour first. Anyway, no, she is not simply warning you about things happening in Avernus, and I'm sure that now that this has been properly explained, she will get to the part that specifically involves you.
Yes. We have reason to believe we're moving to finish the fight in the Southlands for their victory, and then once they do that, the first place they would attack on the continent is here.
Well, I thank you for the warning. What do you suggest I do about it?
Prepare the city for an attack. If the Southlands is... You know more about what the mercenaries are reporting there than us. If it looks untenable there, then the mercenaries need to be called back here to prepare the city's defense.
Well, we weren't going to be having a full command meeting until next week, but, and he raises his voice to be heard over the somewhat concerned mutters and people hushing each other to try to hear what's actually being said at the high table, because they caught a couple of words of that, and those were not happy words. But it would appear that we're going to have a command meeting immediately after the meal. There's some concern and a certain amount of swearing. Because this is apparently not how they were considering spending their evening. Because it sounds to me as if there are two options. Option one is pull everyone back and fortify Belarus. Number two is send more of our forces in to try to keep them as far away as possible for as long as possible. That's all going to depend on how things look in the southern lands now. But I thank you for the warning. And I assume you have other business to deal with today. It will be taken into consideration. I appreciate your apology. I am not going to be like my sister about it. And that's a very much get out of here, I have shit to do. Sure, he sort of gives a slight nod, bow, and
Yeah, just following Shuri's lead on the whole bow, get the fuck out of his way.
yeah, the mercenaries are all staring and murmuring. Like, two of you are very much recognized by a few people, and Rylan having the highest passive perception beyond Alice, but I don't know how much he'd say about that is. And to think they came out of Carter's Combine? And another one going, well, they were smart enough to get out while the getting was good, so that's something. Alice is just kind of, because she knows a bit more about the history, just... It's not until they get out when Alice is going, some of the mercenaries remember the company you guys came from.
I bet they do.
Well,
that's what that was.
What I got was, well, they were smart enough to get out while the getting was good, so that's something.
Did any of them mention the attempt at a scheduled bar fight? You know, how that didn't seem to work anywhere but Ambir?
No, we were heading out a little bit too fast to really make heads or tails of that. Yeah, Alice had Len sort of draped over her shoulder through the entire thing, and was just kind of sitting there like, I'm happy.
No.
I'm large, fluffy, and happy. I largely see Clarity hovering in that, in the general direction of face, just hi. course, you kind of got to reach past Wing to do that. Yeah, I guess, like I say, Noop's gonna have some competition. Right. In-laws. And yeah, while most of the businesses in that general area are shut by this point, the lights in Crestwind's bakery are open. It's interesting. The bakeries in Belarus look nothing like the ones you see in Anbeer or Demille. It's more rustic, more generally homey. And when you walk in, yeah, Rylan hasn't met the Crestwinds at all, so you've got both of them are surprisingly tall, given that their child is about 5 foot. Um, Older gentleman, brownish hair, going a little bit salt and pepper. Um, Plump woman, little shorter than her husband, still nowhere near as short as Remy. Slightly darker brown hair, tacked in a slightly messy bun, who immediately just woof hugs Remy.
Yep, Remy was already going up to hug her without saying anything.
And you'll also hear the little clickety clack of claws on the floor, and if you look down, you see this little tiny white puff ball of a dog. Very, very elderly Pomeranian. Just trot, 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 trot over to Remy, and then, exhausted, just skids to a halt with plump on her foot.
Hi, Puffy.
Looks up, the little tail, but it's still kind of
Yep. Remy will pick him up.
Happy doggo.
very happy, very elderly doggo. I'm sure this amuses the hell out of anybody who has somehow not realized how much of a softie Remy is about cute furry things. Not that we're not delighted to see you, and we have some tea set up on the roof on the roof patio. You're gonna want to wait until we're upstairs until I'll say you all right. That's a story we'll get into. And who's your? This is Lend. Cherie is my fault actually. To a point. Barnabas and I are. We're looking for a shared pet, and so I brought a selection, and this one decided that could not live without being Alice's personal pet. We were gonna leave him over at Hearthhome. I mean, if you didn't want him to, leave Equitas, we could probably look after him. A little more active than Puffy, but Alice sort of puts Lend down. It's looking up at Puffy like, hello? Hello, are you a friend?
Remy will hold out Puffy for them to sniff each other.
Sniff, 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 sniff. Lend is just lick. Lick, 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 lick. I think you can probably put Puffy down and we can see how they get along.
Mm-hmm.
Puffy is just kind of yip, 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 yip.
Mm.
Each is that puppy paw. Pump, pump, pump. Like it's actually patting him. Then does playful stance. When Puffy sort of skitters off, you can tell Lent is actually slowing himself down so that it doesn't catch him too soon.
Oh.
Well, at least there are options. But yeah, probably roof tea. Do we want to bring the? Yes, Brabby, do you want to bring Puffy upstairs? You know he has issues with the stairs these days.
I've got him.
And so the marrieds with the dogs and everybody else up onto nice little roof patio where tea has been set up, and the smell at this point is significant chocolate. They seem to have done the death by chocolate brownie recipe from Toothsome. Now, there's a couple of you that I haven't actually met yet. Can I have introductions?
That's
Alright.
It sure is. Sorry. I thought explaining the animal companion was a little more important. Michigan is incidentally sort of leaning towards the table and the brownies. We'll deal with the other introduction in a minute. Cherie Belascu, I'm secretary to Governor Behirzat. Ah, that must be quite the job at the moment. You have no idea. And then I look over at Rylan. Hello.
Rylan, Pagency. Mhm. I've been stuck with these idiots for a while.
You
I mean that affectionately.
yes,
You are one.
because for a moment you looked at Corey's face and you realized you'd said a bad.
I promise I mean that affectionately.
Very well. Corey Crestwind, my husband Amel. Take a seat. I got the impression from Alice that things were afoot.
Yeah.
That?
Remy, what's going on?
Been a lot lately, but
Yes, but
expecting
normally you don't tell us.
we're expecting the city to be attacked.
They look at each other, Corey and Amel, and right. By
Tiamat's forces.
Amel, is that would be one remarkable trophy. Well, thank you. Oop. No, sorry. Go ahead, Hazel.
Remy, the other thing.
What other thing? What am I forgetting?
Out of character because Remy would not forget this because she was the one who brokered the deal to keep y'all safe from the blood magic.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm forgetting.
Yep. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Because now you've got both parents like, okay, so the city being attacked by Tiamat isn't bad enough. Kind of looks.
We've been fighting. Well, she's basically a devil now, and she was using blood magic against us and to do things that normally affect us without even being anywhere near us. But anyways, we have managed to find protection against it, but we're not sure if she could use our blood to hurt people who are related to us because of the blood itself.
Aha. Alice is full disclosure because I know Ree does not like being that direct when it's somebody she really cares about, but I reckon you have to know. Part of the reason that we are concerned about this is because while they were only messing with us before we got the protection, they managed to use that. I don't know how they were. I suppose they took blood samples as a. They must have said it was a way to track them or something like that, but I am now the only protector, Asmar, left on the prime material plane, as far as anyone knows, and there are only 2 Scourge left. They killed them outright. And were concerned that they could use that blood tie to do similar to you. I do not know which of the gods you favor most, but I would recommend asking them for some level of protection if you can. Thank you for letting us know. I know that wasn't easy. We'll see what can be done. There's not much else that can really be said at that point. We will just have to trust that you'll be able to stop them before it gets to that point.
We will.
It just doesn't hurt to take precautions, you know? I know, and I appreciate it, but are you alright? I am processing. It's been a long few days, I guess. Just Corey pours tea. Have a brownie. Thank you. So I imagine you don't have very long to stay if you're heading off to places.
That's right.
Well, it's good to see you at the moment, Melissa, particularly given since it sounds like you're getting into the more dangerous aspects of this. How much are you willing to tell us?
We can't stay long because we need to track down a vampire who was involved in this. And after that, hopefully, we'll be on our way to dealing with the fiend before she can hurt anyone else.
Corey is like, please tell me that you people are going to get a decent night's sleep first.
Yes.
We have to check in on Hearthhome. We sent some of the Protector Azamar kids who didn't have parents to... I mean, you know what Hearthhome's like, you've heard. And Corey is, oh no.
Mhm.
I'll be back in a few minutes. She's going to be probably collecting just about anything she can send as comfort food. And you all are reasonably alright?
It can be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some small.
It's a been better but been worse situation
Yeah, pretty much.
to a point.
At least one comfort is they didn't get my blood or Rhino. Something. I don't think they got Darwin's and Clara's either.
Alice is
They didn't.
no, they didn't. From what I remember, I mean, didn't Niala and Alana say that they were just in Demille researching?
Right.
And anyway, they would have been covered with in the deal that Ree made.
Mm.
And Amel is hang on. Niala and Alana.
Mhm.
Somebody had twins and named them after the Mobius twins.
Hey!
Not exactly.
The twins are real.
What?
They're
Mobius
real. They still
twins.
run the Bone Orchard.
We were as surprised as you.
Uh-huh. Well, you learn something new every day. Actually, you kind of do. I was gonna give these to Corey, but she's uh, providing comfort food. So, takes around in her bag of holding self-prestidigitating measuring cups and spoons, because I don't know if she found those in Egref. She didn't think of that. And dessert cookbook with things to experiment with on the back pages. Ooh. I think Corey and I will both enjoy that. Corey is carefully climbing back up the stairs with cake boxes. They're the day olds, so they need to be eaten by the end of the day, so, comfort food for everyone.
Thank you.
Especially you.
It's appreciated.
I have not seen so little interest in triple chocolate brownies in my life.
Hmm.
Corey, they prestidigitate themselves. Ooh! Yoink. Then looks at Alice, then hugs Alice because she figured out that it would have been Alice responsible for that. Thank you. Also, cookbook for with experimentation notes. You have guests, Corey. Yes, but if I don't focus on something, I'm going to get unduly clingy about my Remy, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to hyper-focus on something else for the moment. Is that alright? Shuri is like, I like her. It's like, what would happen if I was slightly more manic? Well, this is... Shuts the book. This is probably a nicer way to end this. So, my regards to the Hearthhearts. Please make sure they finish everything, or feed it to whatever goats you may have if there are leftovers, because they won't be fit for anything come morning.
Okay.
Do you need space for teleportation, or no? Because Hazel is. I just need a door. Because you're traveling to Hearthhome by key. Yes, Corey is asking, do you need space for a teleportation circle? This is where Hazel speaks up. I hope.
Sorry, just brain is having a moment. Can you refresh?
I was very briefly saying that because you're going to be traveling by key, Corey is asking if you need space for teleport. This is when you explain what you actually need.
Oh, we don't need a teleportation circle. We need a door with a lock.
The door here locks. That's remarkably clever. You need to meet Twilly and Miranda sometime. Maybe once we've, as Rylan puts it, saved the world 1,000 times, we can have a whole group family reunion thing.
That's gonna need a lot of food.
And Alice says, isn't it a good
I'm
thing?
sure they'll manage.
Isn't it a good thing that so many of us actually really like to cook?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be an issue.
Yes, and Corey just goes down around everybody, even Rylan and Cherie, who she's only just met, get hugs. Hug, hug. Kind of, just going down the line. Hug, 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 hug.
Right. Door time, everyone.
Door time.
Yes.
Yep.
We'll walk over to the door, pull the key on its like chain.
And you open up and you head into Hearthhome. And since we are at that time and Smeagol's having fog out moments, this is a good place to end it. So when we come back in 2 weeks' time, little bit of decompression and actually getting the kind of rest you need
Mm-hmm.
And then you start fresh in the morning on your quest to deal with vampires and devils and all manner of other crap. So,
Oh my.
huzzah.
Yeah,
Bye,
boy.
guys.